Are you prepared to succeed? Are you prepared for success? I'm going to share 7 tips for how you can know if you are ready for success. But first of all, we have to define success. In this particular video, I'm going to talk about trying to become a full-time artist or freelance artist, getting more gigs, things like that. I really do think some of these tips or post markers, guidelines, I suppose you could call them, could work for almost any industry to a degree. I'd love to know if these can apply to you if you are not an artist, or if you have other things, if you are an artist, all those things. How do you know when you're ready to go pro and you're prepared for these opportunities to come? While I talk, I'll be working on a little 6x6 acrylic painting of dunes near Saugatuck, Michigan from a photo I took. So, number 1, timely turnaround. Deadlines are actually your friend. That's probably an unpopular opinion. Do I like deadlines myself? They turn reading for pleasure into homework. We all know that angst of suddenly it's like pulling teeth. However, they're your friend. Think of it this way. Someone's actually excited to get your work. The world works on systems, whether we like it or not, and they are also working within a system. So when they give you a deadline, they want your stuff. They really do. They want a time to look forward to it. Have you ever had a TV show or movie that had a date where it would come out and then they postponed it again and again and again? Your credibility tanks and you are very disappointed. So let's not become one of those. Number 2, systems in place. Bookkeeping systems. Make it work for you. These are your tools. Don't be too scared of these things. Shipping, also a system if you want to do online things like Etsy or your website. Know your numbers. Like I said, these are tools working for you so you can know what's cost effective for both you and your client. And yes, I'm speaking from failure for both of these actually. I underestimated the cost of shipping and I had to eat that money because I'm not going to ask my client, whoops, I need to charge you more money now because I didn't look up how much it would actually cost to ship this. Don't do that. It's way too easy to use Google these days to just have your own system. Have these systems in place, you can get help, you can make it work easy for you so that when it's all bookkeeping time, it's going to go fast. 3, momentum. And I'm talking about momentum for a project or structuring yourself throughout the day. When I have full empty days where I can work, structuring my entire day to be productive can be a challenge still to me. I think that can also be true of people who are full-time pros when they have this big blank day and there's so much you can do with it. What do you prioritize? So do you take initiative with your projects? Do you sleep in when you have a day job plus free time? Do you sleep in or play games all the time? YouTube is one of my addictions. I don't want to tell you how many hours I could be on YouTube instead of actually painting. Love YouTube, but we have to be realistic here of disciplining and taking the momentum. So the more often you pick that stuff up and discipline, the easier it's going to get, I promise. Just throughout this 30-day challenge I'm doing for myself, it's already easier than it was last year to sit down, set aside time, and actually do the thing. Number 4, also on being a pro, the high of an idea, and I'm talking like an euphoria high. You get this idea, you're passionate about it or the subject or technique, and as soon as you get bored with it, you drop the project. That means you're a hobbyist, not a pro. I'd like to know if you agree or disagree, or if pros can agree or disagree, that we often are addicted to the high, or I don't know, I don't like calling it a high, the euphoria of an idea. We are addicted to that chemical zing and happiness, and we rely on that, like, oh, to keep us going in a project. Like, well, I'm not interested in this project anymore, I guess I'm not an artist. I don't think that's how that works. You keep going, it will come back, just don't be reliant on that high of inspiration. Don't be relying on that, and you're going to go a lot farther. Number 5, space. How much space do you really need? I just downsized. It wasn't really by choice, but I know it's a good thing overall. I'm learning what I actually need. I can get rid of things that I do not want to spend my time on anymore. When it's not, I hate using the word cost effective all the time, but it's not the direction I want to go. And trimming the fat of places you don't want to go, it's streamlining you. You are more focused, you are more directional with your goals. But honestly, you do not need a studio to paint. A small space? Sure. A bucket with your art stuff? Sure. Downsize your, literally, cut your sketchbook in half. Cut your paper in half. Use tiny things. Maybe paint your stuff, tape it up on a wall. I don't think you need to be so stuck with the idea that you have to have this perfect location for you to get going. In fact, it's usually the action and searching out and just moving forward that's going to help you find the place that you need to be. Don't worry for that perfect time or location, just get moving. Action. Probably one of the biggest one. Number 6, time. So, you've crunched the numbers. You know how much you need for your business, for your bills, for your materials. Now, how much are you going to sell that piece of art for? Yeah, this is all number crunching again. That's okay. And honestly, at some shows, I'm making less than a minimum wage. I'm curious on how many other starting out artists it was the same way. You're working tons of hours a week. Yeah, you could go to a factory to a 9-to-5 job and make a lot more money. More stable. But there's a reason why you chose art to begin with. And making a minimum wage for a couple years is worth it to us. So, about your time, it's probably going to take a lot more time than you want to get going. And that's okay. Learning how to be realistic about your time and how long it takes to do things and how much your time is worth for a project for pricing purposes and all that wonderful stuff. I think that's another reason about prepping for success. Number 7, self-editing. Don't be so attached to your little brain babies that you cannot self-edit and let things go when it's just not working, when it's eating up your time. It's very, very hard for writers and visual artists and probably creatives of all sorts because we get so attached to an idea that we sacrifice it for the greater piece. And I think we waste a lot of time that way. People don't get it. And overall, we get so absorbed in this one little pet project, item, subject, thing in a painting that we can sacrifice an excellence for that. So that was number 7. The 3 things I found to get ready for success are research and knowledge. A mentors help so much. Good habits. So once you have the knowledge, you put it into use before you're even successful, before you get the gigs, before you have opportunities. Get those in place now, because number 3 of how to get ready is that you won't be. You don't know what you need to get ready, so you do the best you possibly can now to have good habits, because when, not if, when this stuff comes along, and it's almost 100% a when, after you have taken action. If you just sit there and wait for it to come, well, you're not going to be ready for it, you aren't going to be strong enough for it, and it's not going to come around again. Be prepared now, and start those good habits now, and you will learn how to be better for it. Those are my tips. There's my painting. Thank you for listening and watching. I'd love comments, subscribes, likes, all the above, and hear your thoughts. Thanks, everybody.